So, reading from The Science of Psychic Healing by Yogi Ramataraka, the Grand Yogi Psychic Breath. The yogis have a favorite form of psychic breathing, which they practice occasionally, to which has been given a Sanskrit term, of which the above is a general equivalent. We have given it last, as it requires practice on the part of the student in the line of rhythmic breathing and mental imagery, which he has now acquired by means of the preceding exercises. The general principles of the grand breath may be summed up in the old Hindu saying, "Blessed is the yogi who can breathe through his bones." This exercise will fill the entire system with prana. The student will emerge from it with every bone, muscle, nerve, cell, tissue, organ, and part energized and attuned by the prana and the rhythm of the breath. It is a general house cleaning of the system, and he who practices it carefully will feel as if he had been given a new body, freshly created from the crown of his head to the tips of his toes. We will let the exercise speak for itself. Lie in a relaxed position at perfect ease. Breathe rhythmically until the rhythm is perfectly established. Then, inhaling and exhaling, form a mental image of the breath being drawn up through the bones of the legs and then forced out through them. Then through the bones of the arms, then through the top of the skull, then through the stomach, then through the reproductive region, and then as if it were traveling upward and downward along the spinal column, and then as if the breath were being inhaled and exhaled through every pore of the skin, the whole body being filled with prana and life. Then, breathing rhythmically, send the current of prana to the 7 vital centers, in turn, as follows, using the mental picture as in the previous exercise. To the forehead, to the back of the head, to the base of the brain, to the solar plexus, to the sacral region, which is the lower part of the spine, to the region of the navel, to the reproductive region. Finish by sweeping the current of prana to and fro from head to feet several times. Chapter 11, Thought Force Healing. Before passing on to various forms of mental healing, we must acquaint ourselves with a form of healing, and a very efficacious one too, that comes in between pranic healing and mental healing. This form of healing is known by a number of names, but we have thought it well to give it the name thought force healing, which describes it very well, for it is an application of thought and prana. In our 14 lessons, we have shown you how thought would color the prana and go forth as almost living entity, as an almost living entity, energy. This thought force, as it is called, may be employed by means of healing. And in fact, we have known a number of very able practitioners who have preferred it to any other form because of its simplicity and power. It may be used either as a separate system or else in connection with one or more of the other systems mentioned in this book. In fact, the better psychic healers use parts of all methods, adapting the same to meet the several requirements of their patients, giving preference to those forms which seemed most natural to the healer and the patient. Thought force healing is based upon the fact that the organs, parts, and even cells of the body have mind in them, a fact known to all occultists and which modern science fully recognizes. This mind in the cells, cell groups, nerve centers, ganglia, etc., respond to a strong thought impression from outside, particularly when the thought is heavily charged with prana. The parts are thus reached directly rather than through the instinctive mind, as is the case in mental healing proper. When properly applied, this form of healing produces a wonderfully quick and direct effect, and therefore it is one of the simplest and best forms of psychic treatment. The student is advised to acquaint himself thoroughly with it. The central theory of thought force healing is that the disease is a mental trouble, not a trouble in the central mind, but in the mind in the parts. The theory of the curse is that the thought force overcomes the rebellious mind in the cells and parts and forces it to resume normal action. In thought force healing, get all ideas of matter out of your mind. You are not using mind against matter, but mind against mind. The will mind against the cell mind. Do not forget this, for it underlies the whole system of treatment. The healer goes on, the healer goes after the rebellious mind in the parts. Hold on. Morning, Lauren.
Good morning. Sorry I'm so late.
No, you're fine. The healer goes after the rebellious mind in the parts. Remember that. By producing, or rather reestablishing, normal mental conditions in the parts, the disease condition vanishes. The healer directs his thought force to the mind in the part and addresses it positively, either by uttering the actual words or by speaking them mentally. He thinks or speaks something like this. Now, mind, you are behaving badly. You are acting like a spoiled child. You know better, and I expect you to do better. You must and will do better and act right. You must bring about normal and healthy conditions. You have charge of these organs, and I expect you to do the work that the infinite mind gave you to do properly. This and similar thoughts will give you the idea of the treatment. Point out to the mind of the part just what you expect it to do, and you will be surprised at first at how readily the cell mind obeys. The rebellious mind of the part acts like a child who is pouty, cross, or out of sorts. It must be coaxed, scolded, led, or loved into right action, as the case seems to require. The idea of love, of course, being behind it all, just as in the case of the child. The cell mind is essentially an undeveloped childlike mind, and if you keep this idea in view, you will be able to apply the treatment to the best advantage. As you will see as we proceed, the hands are used in this form of treatment, but principally for the purpose of attracting the attention of the mind in the cells and parts, just as we attract the attention of a man by tapping him on the shoulder, etc. Awaken the attention of the cell mind, and you will find that your orders are listened to carefully. There is a great difference in the quality of the mind in the several organs, just as in the case of different children. For instance, the heart is very intelligent and responds readily to commands from the central mind. The liver, on the other hand, is stupid, dense, mental organism and needs to be driven like a mule instead of led like a lamb. You have seen children just like this carry this idea in your mind. Now you have had the theory. Let us go into the practice of thought force healing. Practice. Stomach troubles. The majority of diseases really originate in the stomach, and the other troubles are really but resultants of the main trouble, which is in the stomach. Consequently, it is well to always begin the treatment with the stomach treatment. Indigestion and malnutrition are at the bottom of 9/10 of the various diseases. Remove the cause and the symptoms disappear. The method of treating the mind in the stomach is as follows. Have the patient standing erect in front of you, or else lying down on his back. Then give him several quick but gentle taps or pats on the hand over the stomach, saying, "Mind, wake up." Then hold the palm of the right hand over the stomach, saying to the latter, "Now, stomach mind, I want you to wake up and attend to this organ properly. You have not been doing right. You have been neglecting your work. I want you to begin functioning properly and making the organ strong, healthy, and active. I want it to do its work properly, and you must see that it does so. You must see that it digests the food properly and nourishes the whole body. You must relieve the congestion and inactivity and see that the whole organ acts with life and energy and does its work well. You need not repeat these exact words, and you may add or vary the same. The main thing is to tell the stomach mind just what you expect it to do and what you look to it to bring about. You will be surprised at the intelligence displayed by the mind addressed and how quickly it begins to act upon your instructions. Give stomach treatments daily. The treatment should last about 5 to 10 minutes. It usually takes from 1 to 4 weeks to get final results in cases of dyspepsia, the difference depending upon the length of standing of the trouble and the mental attitude of the patient. That is whether he works with you or against you. Liver troubles. Treat the liver in a similar manner to that given to the stomach. The liver, however, being a dull, stupid organ, must be spoken to sharply and positively. Think of a stubborn donkey, and you have the idea. The liver cannot be coaxed. He must be driven like a mule. When we speak of the liver, we mean the mind of the liver, of course. Give the liver instructions to function properly, to secrete the proper amount of bile and no more, to let the bile flow freely and perform its work, etc. Constipation. Treat constipation by first treating the liver as above directed, then pass the hand over the bowel saying, "Bowel mind, wake up, attend to your duties, move naturally and easily as you know you should do." Constipation is sometimes rendered stubborn by a tendency to contraction on the part of the anus, the posterior outer opening of the colon or large bowel, through which the excrement passes when one has a movement or passage. In such cases, place the hand over the part, outside of the clothing will answer, pressing the part a little to attract its attention and saying to it, "Relax, relax, you are causing trouble. Relax and allow the movements to pass freely and naturally." Diarrhea. Diarrhea is treated similarly to constipation, the same organs being treated, the directions being reversed, of course. The bowel is told to slow down, and the liver is told to behave itself. Kidneys. The kidneys are treated in a similar manner to the liver. Tap them smartly with the fingers several times and tell them to do their work properly and naturally. In cases where the patient urinates too freely, instruct the kidneys and bladder to slow down and endeavor to reduce the urination gradually. If the patient is in the habit of getting up 3 times during the night, bring him down to 2 times, then to 1 time, and then to no urination at all between bedtime and morning. Treat daily for from 5 to 10 minutes. Continue treatments for a month in treatment for excessive urination. It is well to add upward passes along the region, holding the mental picture of pushing back the flow. These upward passes are also good to use in case of diarrhea, in addition to the regular treatment. Rheumatism. Rheumatism is treated in 2 ways combined. The first treatment is given to the kidneys, the kidney mind being instructed to eliminate the impurities and uric acid and discharge it from the system. The failure to do this is the main cause of rheumatism, and it follows that a correction of the original trouble will bring about good results and prevent a recurrence of the trouble. At the same time, the parts affected should be manipulated, and at the same time, addressed and told to throw off and get rid of the uric acid and to relax and allow contraction to be thrown off. Treat the stomach also, for much of the original trouble comes from the malnutrition and imperfect digestion. Heart troubles. The heart is the most intelligent of the organs. That is, it has a higher grade of mind in it than any other organ, the brain excepted, of course. This heart mind will respond readily up to loving instructions and is most gentle and kind. In case the heart is palpitating or beating irregularly, place the hand gently over the part and say kindly, "Heart minds, quiet down, quiet, 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 act regularly and quietly, steady, steady, steady," etc. You will find that the palpitations will gradually quiet down and the heart's action will become steady and regular. The nerves. Nervous troubles may be treated in this way. Commence with treating the stomach and liver and getting them to function properly. Then treat the nerves along the spinal column, giving them the appropriate instructions to suit the requirements of the case. Equalizing the circulation is accomplished by making long sweeping passes from the head to the feet. See pranic healing for direction. At the same time, saying to the mind of the arteries and veins, flow freely and equally, steadily and constantly, flow, circulate, flow. It is well to give this treatment for equalizing the circulation in nearly every form of treatment, for by doing so, you will help to reestablish normal conditions and promote the return of healthy action. Headaches are treated by first treating the stomach and then equalizing the circulation and then giving local treatments to the head, saying to the mind of the parts, quiet down now, easy, 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 rest, 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 etc. Female troubles. These complaints are treated by first restoring proper conditions of the stomach so that the patient may be properly nourished and may thus obtain energy and strength to send to the affected parts. This must not be overlooked. Local treatment is administered as in cases of diarrhea. Bring up the hands in front of the lower parts of the abdomen and giving the command to the mind. Strength, right action, health, etc. In case of profuse flow, add the words slow down, cease flooding, etc. In the case of falling of the womb, etc., the command firm, firm, now, firm, etc. will be found to have a wonderfully strengthening effect. Other complaints. It is not necessary to run over the list of so-called diseases, which are after all nothing but different cases of imperfect mind action. The treatment is similar in each case, as you will have seen. Give the same general treatment and then give your mental commands in words suited to the case. That is, tell the mind of the part what it must do. Talk to it, just as you would to a child that was not doing what it should. Reason with it and lead or drive it along, just as seems best. Use judgment and a little thought, and you will find that you will soon get the knack of giving just the right commands. But above everything else, remember that you are talking to the mind of the part, not to dead matter. There is no dead matter about a live body. Mind is in every part and cell. It is mind talking to mind. Remember this, for therein lies the secret of this form of treatment. Remember also that the majority of diseases arise from stomach troubles and imperfect circulation. Restore the stomach to normal action and the circulation to equalize activity and functioning, and you have removed the cause of the trouble. Do not forget this, for this is most important. Talk to the mind as you would a person, as you would to a person, a child, and say to it just what you think will best affect it. A little practice will render you very expert in this, and you will soon begin to feel quite well acquainted with the different forms of the mind in the parts, and moreover, they will soon begin to recognize that you know them, just as a horse recognizes men who are used to managing horses, although they may never have seen that particular man before. Dogs are the same way, as one will see if he will think a little bit. This form of treatment may be used on animals as well as on people, as we have heard of many remarkable cures in this way. Now remember, please, that the cell mind or part mind does not understand words, you say. They have no such knowledge, but they do understand the thought that lies back of the words and will respond thereto. The words clearly only serve to help you to form your thought clearly. Words are but symbols of thoughts. There is one or more thoughts back of every word. Do you see now? A German may give the treatment to an Englishman who does not understand a single word used, but the cell mind does understand the thought back of the word, no matter what language is spoken. Is not this wonderful? and yet so simple when the key is had. It is the thought, not the word. And yet the spoken word helps the mind to form the thought. We think in words, remember? We even dream in words. Now, do not let this simple form of treatment escape your attention. It is one of the best, for it combines the qualities of several others in it. It is so simple and easily understood and easily applied. Do not fail to try it. I loved all those reminders in today's reading. I love how he reminds us to be patient and have to wait when he was explaining the stomach, that we have to wait 1 to 4 weeks. We do it one time, or I do it one time, and I think I should be cured. I love how he reminds us that the stomach is basically the root of many of our conditions. And I love the idea. I love this reminder of this thought back words in any area of our life, matching our words to our thoughts is like so powerful.
It's like if you say it out loud, you affirm it. Like I remember when I was going through the process of veganism, like I guess I was a pescatarian, and I still loved cheese too. So I was like having this trouble, and now I'm not so strict with myself, but at the same time, like I just kept saying out loud, I'm vegan, even though I wasn't. Like I just kept saying it, and then I became it.
Yeah. And if that's your intention to get there, then that's awesome. But like, I feel like on the other side of that, so many people are like, not like, if you're like, even talking to yourself, if your words, people can see right through our words. Like we can feel the emotion behind them.
Oh my God, yes.
So like if someone's like, how are you today? And you're like, good, and you're not, like people are gonna know you're not good.
Yeah.
It's like, and I just love that idea. Like that's satya in yoga, our truth, like matching our thoughts and our words. So like I think what you did is awesome, because it's like you're creating your truth through your words, because that was your intention.
Okay, yes, I see what you're saying. And I see the other side that you're saying too. I love that.
Like when people are like, oh, I'm happy, and then they're not happy, and it's like, are you really happy? Figuring out, and I think that's what this meditation practice does. It allows us to see very clearly what our thoughts are behind our words.
Oh my God, truly. And it's so funny. Like I was thinking, like, when you're sick and you're like, oh my God, like you don't want to throw up, or you're like, please relax, stomach. Like, and you're Sutu that like talk, like it sounds weird, but then when you think back on it, I think everyone's done it before, just unknowingly.
I love that example. I follow that Haley singer on Instagram, and I think it was her, she had posted that she was like having morning sickness or something on the stage one time, and she was like, or maybe it might have even been Alicia, or maybe Alicia Keys, or maybe it was both of them, but like they were like willing themselves not to throw up on, it was Alicia Keys. Haley posted something else.
Oh my God.
And like we can really will ourselves, like when we are in a situation, like we can really will ourselves to get our body to not do something. Like when it's sick, like you better not do that right now.
Like mind power.
Yeah. And so I think it does work, but I think like we forget, like, because it happens so infrequently, hopefully. So it happens, and then you forget about the power you just took over your mind just took over the other mind part. And it could just become a regular daily practice that you can start to heal from, because we are powerful. And also always coming back to nutrition, which I think is the hardest part for most of us, like what we're feeding ourselves.
I've been so dramatic about the Ayurvedic cleanse. Like I refuse to start it. Like, it's so weird. And I'm like, I'm excited about it. Why am I reacting this way? And then I'm like eating things I don't even like because I'm responding to like, oh my God.
You're
I'm gonna have-
rebelling.
Yes. It's so funny.
Oh, that's interesting.
Very. And I'm like, why are you so fearful? It's not a big deal. It's not a big, you're already like halfway there because you don't even eat meat or dairy.
It's definitely, you can, yeah.
You can have dairy, right? And I think
In Ayurveda you can, but on the cleanse you don't. On the cleanse you
Yeah.
just eat the meat, beans, and vegetables, but and maybe like an apple or something. It depends on your constitution, but
and no
I
coffee.
feel like the cleanse isn't even just nutrition to me. It's about it's whatever number day commitment you're giving to yourself, and maybe that's what you're feeling.
I think that's it too. Like, I have so much going on personally
Yeah.
and busyness that I'm like, okay, I know I'm not gonna have this like moment this week to like just relax because I think I'm gonna need to rest a little more.
Yeah, sure.
So
And like day 3 for me is always like, you're just grumpy, and my body is just like detoxing, and like I want something else to eat, and I still got this many days to go, and like everyone in my path is just gonna get that toxic energy that's just like coming out of me.
yes.
So I know in spring I'm usually more like it's easier for me to find it in my schedule time.
Okay.
But every year this year, like I'm already gonna mark my calendar for next year to block out a week so that I don't schedule anything, because it's the same. Like, you need time to put restorative on the schedule and relaxing and more like baths and reading time. Like, you don't want to overbook yourself when you're on the cleanse.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So we've already, like, you're here and it's like, what, I can't even find 7 days that's gonna make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I hear you. But when you get to do it, you'll do it when it's meant to be.
I'm like, soon. I'm like, next week. But I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
Also prepping for it.
Yeah.
A lot, but
I think because I've been doing it every year since 2017. I've done it twice a year. Like, I already have all this spice. Like, I feel like because I built it into such a routine, like once you get there, but yeah, it is scary at first, like just doing the prep for it.
And you've made the Kichari?
Yeah. It's easy, and I'm not a very good cook, and I hate when people tell me, oh, this is so easy to make, because it's not. Nothing's easy, but
Okay, good.
yeah, but practice, and it comes out different every single time, and I'll play with different things, and sometimes it comes out soupy, and sometimes it comes out a little dry, and it's just different. And mine never tastes like anybody else's does, but it's still good to me, and it's fine. It's pretty simple. I don't think it's for me, I haven't been able to mess it up yet.
Okay, good, because I'm not a good cook either.
Yeah, I always said I'm not a good cook, but I didn't enjoy doing it. And I started to find recipes I do enjoy cooking, and I do enjoy chopping. So like, I can make my salad. I eat salad every day for lunch. So I wasn't a good cook because I wasn't cooking things I enjoyed cooking. So once I found recipes and things, I was like, oh, I don't have to make what my family taught me to make. I can venture out and go make this instead. And now I have more fun with it. And like, I can't believe how far I've grown in the kitchen, honestly. And I'm excited if we get that house, Lauren, from that new kitchen, if that house works. But I also took a few cooking lessons. I took one at that a la carte school in Limbrook, and I've taken a few with Adriana, who isn't around. We're I met her through Rev, but she's in Costa Rica right now, but she's a culinary chef. So maybe you just link up with somebody that.
Yeah, Jen was talking about her yesterday, and I was like, oh my God, can she make it for me?
Yeah. Yeah, she did. She used to make it. Like yeah. Yeah. And if you have any questions while you're doing it, just reach out to Amanda. She'll help you. She'll probably even video
Yes.
you and
Oh my God, she's the best. You all are. You guys are such a gift.
All right, so let's do some breath work. And if you want to try the grand yogi breath, you can go back and do that. If I'm not going to cue it today, the one we started reading with, or I'll guide us through some rhythmic breathing and then move us into alternate nostril. And then if there's somewhere you want to go from there, you can. And then we'll set up for our meditation. So finding that straight, strong spine, relaxing shoulders and jaw, feeling the sit bones melt down while the crown of the head reaches up, slight engagement in the core. Palms can be down or up, just making a decision, just noticing, witnessing what you're choosing to do. Coming to the breath, inhaling and exhaling through the nose, breathing deep into the low belly, and then exhaling it all out. And so we've been working with rhythmic breath, breathing in and out for 6 counts, and that slight pause at the top and bottom for 3 counts. If you're working with different numbers, then you work with different numbers, but I'll guide us through the 6 and 3. So inhale for 6, pause for 3, nice and slow exhale for 6, pause for 3, inhale for 6, pause for 3, exhale for 6, pause for 3, inhale for 6, pause for 3. And as you exhale, see if you can have it as controlled and slow as the inhale, exhaling for 6, pause for 3, inhale for 6, pause for 3, exhale for 6, pause for 3. Moving like this a few more rounds on your own breath. And you can stay right here with this rhythmic breathing, or you can take your right hand over to your face. And close the right nostril with the thumb, inhale through the left. Close the left, exhale right. Inhale right. Close right, exhale left. Inhale left. Close left, exhale right. Inhale right. Close right, exhale left. Inhale left. Close left, exhale right. Inhale right. Close right, exhale left. Inhale left. Close left, exhale right. Inhale right. Close right, exhale left. You can release the hands down. If you want a few more rounds, you can go for it. I'm going to set the timer for 20 minutes and you'll join us when you're ready. And if you need to leave early, have a good day. Bringing hands to heart center. Namaste. Have a beautiful day, everybody.